Color correction is not so difficult. I will show it to you.
So let's color correct the clips we've added. To do that, click the little icon to hide the text layer so it doesn't distract you while adjusting the colors. You can find it here, and as you can see, our text is now hidden. To start the color correction, go to the Lumetri Color panel. If you don't see it in your workspace, go to Window at the top and enable it there. Also, make sure to open the Lumetri scopes since we'll need them as well. You can find the Lumetri scopes right under the Lumetri Color panel. You should see the scopes on the right side now, which is perfect because we need both panels visible at the same time. You can extend the Lumetri scopes a bit. So let me first explain what they do. Lumetri scopes show you the brightness and color information of your clip, helping you see whether your image is too dark, too bright, or color shifted. Bright areas appear at the top of the scopes, while dark and black areas sit at the bottom. This helps you see exactly whether your highlights are too bright or if your shadows are crushed. So let's jump into the Lumetri Color panel on the basic correction. Here you have many sliders. For example, the exposure slider, which lets you brighten dark clips. But as you can see, when we push the slider too far, the Lumetri scopes touch the top edge, meaning the image is way too bright and we're losing information. If you double-click the exposure slider, it resets back to default when you move it. Just a tiny bit. You'll be fine as long as the Lumetri scopes don't touch the top edge. Always brighten the image until it almost reaches the edge on the brightest part of the shot. In our example, that's the sky. You can see that 0.2 is enough, since this clip is already perfectly exposed. Let's bring some more contrast into this clip. So push the contrast slider to the right. You'll also see the Lumetri scopes stretch out because increasing contrast pushes the brights brighter and the darks darker. That's enough. If you lower the highlights, you're able to see the bright areas better, like clouds, if there were any, or the bright parts of the skin which would otherwise get blown out. If you decrease the shadows, you'll see more detail in the darker areas, and if you raise them, the deep shadows will start to disappear. Let's slide it down just a tiny bit. Now let's adjust the whites. They control the brightest parts of your image and help you fine-tune how strong your highlights should appear. Let's decrease them a bit as well, since we want a cinematic look. And if you touch the blacks, you'll see on the Lumetri scopes that the values move closer to the bottom. This shows how deep and rich your shadows become. Make sure it never touches the edges, because that's a sign you're losing information, just like her hair in this example. So again, move the slider up or down until it stops right before hitting the edge. This way, you keep all the important details while still giving your image a nice cinematic contrast. In this example, 0 is perfect, so leave it as it is. On top of the basic correction panel, you also have the saturation slider, which controls how strong or weak the colors appear in your image. You can increase it a tiny bit. In this example and above the saturation slider, you can adjust the temperature. This controls whether your image looks warmer, more orange, or cooler, more blue. This also helps you find the right white balance. Make sure to always shoot with a neutral white balance so you can easily push the image warmer or cooler later without losing color accuracy. So let's take a look at the before and after by clicking this little button. The button you can find here on top. It already looks way better with the color corrections. These are really the basics of color corrections. To color grade, I will make another tutorial. Definitely check out my other effects as well. There's a lot more you don't want to miss. For example, my essential preset pack includes a lot of dope effects, and the picture frame effect pack is perfect if you want to give your edits a cinematic look. All of these presets are designed to be super easy to use and work perfectly in real projects. All links are in the description. Subscribe for more tutorials and presets.